All right, next up, SommCon 2025. I'm with Hayden Stewart. How you doing, man?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for taking the time. So this is one of the ones that I've been most excited about because I've been a big fan of the meme page. You are the Angry Somm on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
We got you. We got you in house. Why are you so angry, man? Why are you so angry towards the industry?
Oh, man. I started off when I was a sales rep in the middle of COVID.
The dark side.
Just, hitting the streets. And I just, despite being as passionate as I was about wine, and still am about wine, I found myself getting kind of cornered in various aspects of sales and distribution. Had found, roadblocks that ended up being the result of essentially, the way that wine is sold and marketed here in the United States, and the way that people are far more eager to support brand patriotism than, general consumer education. And I started to get pretty angry at the fact that, this huge, very vast and diverse world of wine was essentially, people, the average consumer, the lay person, essentially would get cornered into drinking the same, dozen wines over and over again.
Yeah.
Just maybe under a different label, but I had all sorts of, cool, interesting things to pour them from, smaller, lesser known domestic producers to some pretty extravagant, well-known, pioneers in the wine industry. And getting told no was common occurrence.
Sure.
It's like that with indie sales. But
it's sales.
For the reason that I was being told no, that's what irritated the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Because it was like I would be going to these buyers who would be, wow, oh my gosh, this Chilean, Sauvignon Blanc's fantastic price point. It's a delicious wine. I just can't sell Chilean wine here. And I think to myself, why? Aren't you a sommelier? Aren't you the beverage director here? Can you not do your job? What's happening? And I started to realize that a lot of people were essentially lazy and wanted to put name brands on their list, not think about it, and have the reps kind of, run their program, whoever was, willing to swipe their card, get them, fridges, espresso machines, like the level of bribery and just blatant, for lack of a better word, criminal activity that was happening. It was like every year I would see lawsuits, come through with these distributors who they've made so much money.
Yeah.
Doing, illegitimate, crooked business. And I'm here, trying to pave a new way, and just roadblock after roadblock. So eventually I just wanted to kind of shout at the sky. And that's how the Angry Somm came into play.
Yeah.
And really it was kind of a place to commiserate with my fellow wine reps about the frustrations of, the three-tier system here in the United States and how wine is marketed and sold.
Yeah. What's funny is it's you sparked a fire on a lot of the memes that you put out. But what I appreciate about you, but it's also it's a dangerous place to be, is you go deep in the comment section too. Like I'll listen to like big podcasters or, who have like massive audiences or stuff. They're like, yeah, don't ever look at the comment section. It's just like a horrible place. It's not good for your mental health. And like I'll scroll through a lot of these posts and memes and like, but it's done in a cool way because you're actually explaining the point that you're making behind the funny meme. You're actually you go into depth and explain why it is that you actually think, like, what's the issue here, you go pretty deep in the comments, which I was noticing.
I do take the time. I kind of thrive in the comment section because there are a lot of people who come on my page and they're like, what is this jerk doing? He knows nothing about the, wine industry.
Right.
And I probably I'm a little bit more patient with a lot of these people where I don't think I have to explain my credibility, but when I do, and I do give them a legitimate explanation and I could cite sources, suddenly people go, oh, there's some validity to this. It's not just being snarky and provocative. There's a point to it. And for me, whether or not my meme is very agreeable or the point that I'm trying to make, I'm starting a conversation, and I'm getting these sales reps, these buyers, these producers to think about what I have to say, my personal perspective, because, in the hospitality side of things where I am right now, if one person has a complaint, that there are at least a dozen others thinking about it. And what my page has been able to do is really kind of bring those advocates, people who have similar philosophy in wine as I do, to the forefront. And really, we can all be now on the same page as what our general goal is as wine enthusiasts. And I would love to be, polite and courteous and just get the attention. And it'd be nice to just send an email and say, hey, you know what? I don't think you're doing the best that you possibly can. Given your reputation and your fame, you could be doing a lot more for the wine industry than just putting out, highly adulterated wines under different labels and charging extremely exorbitant, prices for it. But you're not heard in those situations. So if I come at them with a joke, something that can go, semi-viral and be passed along, via text message to various, friends, buyers, just colleagues in the industry, it's like I have a better time getting a point across by doing that.
For sure.
Than to be super formal and professional.
Yeah. It's a conversation starter for sure.
Right.
The direction I want to go with you too is a lot. There's so many people that go from, there's not many people that go from the sales and supply side back to the buyer side. So, you've seen both sides. You've been on both sides. You have the experience from both. What advice would you give to other buyers who have never put themselves in the shoes of a salesman and how to do the jobs that we do? What advice would you give to buyers on how to go about their interactions with salespeople in the industry?
You know what? I think a lot of people end up kind of pigeonholing themselves based on their arrogance or their knowledge of their own demographic, which a lot of us, I'm in this position now as a buyer. I know my customer better than anybody else, and I have reps coming in and telling me otherwise. Now, from a sales rep perspective, we absorb a lot more information from various accounts, and we can see as what businesses do, what works, what doesn't, and we use those as examples when going to other accounts and say, hey, we have example A, B, and C of this being by the glass. I did a staff education, this wine in which you might not believe will sell very well with a bit of enthusiasm can do really well. So to the buyers who think that they know better than the reps, have a bit of empathy, have a bit of an understanding that the perspective that these reps have, isn't always just to push a focused brand. We want to create synergistic relationships with you. And it's difficult. And I know in my experience, even just speaking to some of these buyers I used to call on, now as a buyer myself, they come at me with remarks saying like, oh, can you believe this, Skurnik rep trying to, they just brought on Kistler and now he wants to push this whole big brand. Well, you know what? You have to have an amount of balance in any beverage program, whether you're, on-prem or off-prem. You got to be able to make money and you got to be able to support your reps or else they're not going to support you. Because not everybody is Southern. Not everybody is breakthrough. Not every distributor has the deep pockets to be able to, bribe you,
Totally.
For lack of a better term. And so I would say be respectful because a lot of these people are taking a ton of time out of their life to try and not just get placements, and sell wine for their own well-being. But a lot of these people are genuinely passionate about what they want to do, and they want to expose the rest of the world of these interesting, wines, whether it's a focus brand or just something that they personally enjoy drinking and they want to share with you.
Yeah. No, I love that, man. That's such a good point. I want to address one of the seminars that you are participating in here because you are on a couple actually, but let's talk about there was one called Floor to Feed. I think there were several people there who had, obvious social media presence. And I just kind of wanted to get your boiled down version of maybe what the major talking points are on your end that you wanted to bring to that seminar.
Well, I was the only like meme page, on the panel. A lot of who I was with would probably fall into the category of like Vin influencer. I will tease a lot of them because online you see some of them and they're just taking whatever brand gave them a free bottle of wine, and they're putting together some fluffy statements that don't really mean anything, trying to get their audience to be interested in a brand that they honestly wouldn't have considered had they not given them free product.
Yeah.
In my case, it's like I have turned down free product more often than I've taken it. The producers who have offered me product to review, I will sort of, ask them, have you seen my page?
Right. You know what might happen here, right?
And a lot of them enjoyed my content for the humor that it provides.
Yeah.
But I don't want to take your product, not like it, and then bash on it.
Right.
So when
dude, that's rare. Like you're super honest. Like you're telling them, I'm gonna give you very honest feedback. You're not just a billboard.
No, exactly, because I've worked in just about every facet of the wine industry. The only thing I've yet to check on my bingo card is actual wine making.
Yeah.
Little exception, and I empathize with these brands that are reaching out and trying to get traction and trying to get a voice. The influencers that I was with at the table were far more invested into providing, content for the general public, the civilian wine drinkers, whereas I think my platform was definitely geared to addressing people who are currently in the wine industry. As this page has grown, though, I've noticed that a lot of people who are following me these days are complete wine novices, may have not even shown interest in wine prior to this, but because I was able to introduce it to them with a sense of humor, you have to be partial to the type of humor that I provide. A lot of it is satirical and ironic and sarcastic. And if you're not in the industry, it could definitely seem a bit abrasive.
Yeah. But if I may interrupt, I think to your point, though, and what's really good is that you are sparking the conversation in non-industry people, like essentially poking the bear a little bit about these bigger brands that might be making these products. They're products, right? They're producing these wines and to fit a certain demographic and even putting certain things to make it taste a certain way. And I think maybe your average consumer might not even know that that's happening. So even just for that awareness alone is a huge step into like, oh, there's manipulated products, and then there's actually, natural, not like natural wine style, but just naturally grown products that there's a big difference there. And even that alone is a huge step in the right direction, no matter how the message is getting there,
I try to bring up the more, artistic and scientific point of at least my interest in wine with my audience versus providing something as just here's a product, here's where to sell it, here's how to sell it, here's what it pairs with. That's what I do in my professional, side of things.
Yeah. All right, Hayden, we're going to do some blind tasting. Are you down?
Absolutely.
Please pick a number between 1 and 12 minus what? What do we have left?
You pick 1, 2, 4, 5, 9, 10, or 12.
12.
Number 12 it is. All right. Ooh, got a white one.
All right.
And don't forget, you need to pour your own glass. Whenever you're ready, sir. Best of luck.
All right. Salud.
And I forgot to mention, these are testable, like classic wines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
we're not pouring you some random crazy wine.
Wow. Well, citrus blossom to start. It has this nice, almost like new rain, wet concrete kind of geosmin, little, almost the kind of mineral nuances that you could get on the nose versus the palate. I am smelling some dairy components. It smells like there could be a little mallow in here, a little use of some lees, some dead yeast. Nose is great.
Yeah, it's super pretty.
Definitely has these, God, reminds me a little bit of like I'd say just at a quick glance, I'm thinking South African Chenin. Has nice acidity, but it's a little bit rounder.
All right, coming
Yeah,
up on
I'd say-
90 seconds. What do you
Yeah.
think it's not?
Well, it's kind of on the border. I'm trying to figure out whether it's New World or Old World, which I know is kind of obsolete terminology these days.
me some
But
marker.
I am getting more Old World characteristics out of it. It definitely seems like a little less heavy-handed winemaking techniques involved in this.
Initial conclusions?
I'm gonna say it's. I keep going to back to Chenin.
Okay. Anything else you want to throw in there?
I have a couple of other things that I'm like on the cusp of guessing, but that
What are
don't
they? What
fall
are they? Just follow
into
your gut.
like
Follow your gut.
They
No,
don't,
they would only be classic.
right, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. It doesn't fall into the testable categories. It's
All right.
like
So
I've had
final decision. What is it? What are you
All right.
going with?
final decisions.
Yep.
I am going to go with a Loire Chenin Blanc. Possibly Vouvray. I don't think it's Savennier, not nearly as acidic and linear as those can be. But yeah, I'm going to.
Cassandra, what do we have? Loire Valley Chenin Blanc.
It's really rough.
Oh my God. I didn't even. Wow.
Oh,
Gruner.
oh my goodness. I forgot because I drink so much Gruner. Wow, that's almost embarrassing for me.
You know what?
I mean, I literally drowned in Gruner Veltliner.
Don't feel bad because I literally put these wines together and I thought it was something else. So
To be honest,
That's how bad it-
I forgot that was a testable category.
wow, that's like super juicy and floral and citrusy.
Yeah, Campdal, slightly warmer region than
Yeah.
Baca, would provide a bit more body, a bit
Yeah.
more potential alcohol and roundness.
Sir,
Dang.
nicely done. It was great descriptors. Thank you for your time, man. It was a
Hey,
pleasure.
I
meeting
appreciate
you.
it. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.